That old man river, I want you to know he keeps on rolling along.
The constancy of the river is a common impression for songwriters, travelers, and anyone pondering the Mississippi. When we enter Louisiana from Arkansas at Lake Gasaway, that impression swells. The first signs of work here are the lush pepper fields of Panola pepper sauce. Though they call this the poorest part of the state, some signs remind us not to judge it by economic numbers. Lake Providence is rich in just the sort of beautifully faded landmarks we've come here to see. In the Delta, wind-worn landmarks stare you down.
At its peak, Mound was the home to 500 tenant farmers who planted and worked the land. The store provided everything. The people even had their own currency. The post office was closed after 70 years because postal regulations said liquor could not be served in a building which also handled the mail. From one of our series references, Louisiana Proud, by Andy Smith. This, of course, is Mound and the Mound Plantation Store, a good starting point for a journey that you and I will now make, which will take us all the way south to New Orleans. I'm Jeff Duay. This is our latest search for lost Louisiana. Rivers run deep. This is the Mississippi.
In the Delta, wind-worn landmarks not only stare you down, they make you look back further than the Old South, longer than the Europeans, almost as far back as the current course of Old Man River. We're trespassing now on the home of the mound builders. In the 1840s, an explorer looking for lead first reported native artifacts in this area, but it wasn't until the 1950s when geologists took a second look at a 20-year-old aerial photo that our generation realized something big was here long, long before. Surprise, a man-made shape so big you can't see it from the ground. Since then, scientists have worked here trying to figure out who these people were. We know they left this corner of Louisiana 3,300 years ago. We are still examining the earthen ridges, the mounds, and all the much smaller things they left behind. Geologist Roger Saucier.
I guess we'll probably never know exactly why Poverty Point people settled exactly where they did. I have a feeling that that is probably largely a matter of socioeconomics or perhaps a socio-political factor. But obviously the Poverty Point peoples liked the margins of the ridges like Mason Ridge. This has afforded them high ground, relatively immune from flooding, with good arable soils and good locations for living conditions.
A C-shaped figure dominates the Poverty Point site at nearby Epps. The outermost ridges are nearly 3/4 of a mile wide. The ends of the interior 594 meters apart. If these were straightened, they would be 12 kilometers long. Park Service Manager Dennis Labatt.
Mound A, or the Bird Mound as some refer to it, is singly one of the largest features that these people constructed while they were here. Today it rises about 72 feet in the air, would measure about 600 by 800 feet at its base. If you take these figures, translate that into cubic yards, you're looking at over 300,000 in its construction. And then if we took that figure and translated it into 50-pound baskets, you're looking at well over 10 million that went in this one mound alone. That's pretty impressive. See the bird-shaped mound that we have here, you'd have to be about 1,000 feet in the air. It's truly that large. Looking here into the stairs, you'd see the middle of the bird's back and then breaking out equally to the north and to the south, representing the wings. As you'd almost see this again, flying away from the concentric terraces into the west, and it is on an east-west axis, so it's very carefully laid out.
Scientists conclude their society was a sophisticated one with trade routes and exploration throughout the South. What faded landmarks we can still find here show that this corner of modern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas was an important cradle of Native American society.